What's up, everybody? This is Rabid Hedgehog. I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Law Tigers of Oklahoma, AGVSportUSA, and AMSOIL. We want to thank them for helping us provide funds for gear, equipment, and everything to help film what we do, and also keeping our bikes protected and the riders protected. Check out the description below for contact details. Oh no, Mr. Hedgehog, you idiot. You failed to get the audio once again. Actually not. This is just going to be kind of a disclaimer. This might be a discombobulated video slightly because this was kind of an impromptu thing that just decided to show up. So this is a Harley demo event at Fort Thunder Harley-Davidson in Moore, Oklahoma. And they actually just got the Pan America down and replaced a 48 that was in the lineup to test ride with it only a couple of days before they were actually going to start this event. So this was an unexpected thing, and I was the first person to be able to take this machine out on this day. So they were very excited, taking my picture and doing all this fun stuff with it because they were not expecting this machine whatsoever. So I just wanted to go over that with you, and also my thoughts, like I said, might be broken because there's some problems with people blaring their radio and some other things, so I can't quite use full audio that I want to sometimes. So hopefully it will convey exactly what I thought of this machine. So let's get to the ride.
What's up, everybody? Rabid Hedgehog here, and look at this. This is the Harley-Davidson Pan America, the brand new adventure bike from Harley-Davidson that I actually was quite excited to see coming out. So very excited to be on this machine here, and very excited to be able to ride it for the first time at a demo day, because this is the first time a demo bike has been on the truck. So that's the greatest part. So we get to actually ride this today and get to tell you how we feel about it. So hopefully it's going to be a little bit more of a fun ride. This is going to be one of those staggered formation rides, so it might take a second to get it down, and the ergonomics are going to take a second to get down because this is completely new for Harley-Davidson themselves, having this kind of ergonomics, because there's a lot of extra packaging on this thing that I am not going to have time to go over with because there is so much here. The big thing on here is you notice it doesn't have the double switches that it normally has. I will say that there's always an issue when you're trying to do YouTube in that you cannot have, audio that's not something you own, and when you got somebody with a radio and you pull it next to them, you can't talk, and you want to talk about the bike, and that is just a bad problem when you're doing these group rides. It's people with the radios on, and it's just like, yeah, I can't do that. I can't have radio. So at any rate, I guess I could fall back a smidge from him whenever we pull up. I don't know. Because I'd like to talk about this machine while I'm sitting on it, because there's so much information on this machine here. So much information. So over here, you have your volume controls and everything for your infotainment center, your engine cutoff switch mode, and your hazard lights. You also have your traction control button and your push to talk button. You have quite a bit of information there. Right now I'm in rain mode, and I got the heated grips on because this one's got heated grips installed, and they're quite toasty. I do like it quite a bit. All right. They said I'm free to go to other modes. There we go. There's experiencing the Pan America's new engine, that 1250cc monster. And I'm out of rain mode. This thing has incredibly good engine braking as well. So that's a good thing. The clutch is very light on this machine. I really like the clutch on it, and it's very well balanced, actually. Now you notice this is a fixed kind of fairing in the front with that weird kind of partial shark nose going on with the front end. I have to say this motorcycle is incredibly ugly still. I still do not like the looks of it, but I mean, at least back here you can't see it. Now it does have an adjustable windscreen, as you can see. The front end gives you so much information. You have engine temperature, you have outside temperature, you have voltage, you have your tachometer, you have your modes, you have your gear indication, your fuel, your odometers. Everything is up there. So much information on that screen up ahead, and I'll try to flick through a few of these things while we're riding because there's so much information that we can go through. Now your hazards and flash to pass, like I said, hazards are here. Flash to pass is pull down on that, flick up on that for bright. There's your heated grips. This is your infotainment scroll screen right here that you can use. A little ergonomically off. So there's your odometers, temperature, range, trip A, or VIN lock. So there's some fun little things that go through there when you're going through that. You can hit this infotainment screen here and you can go through and you can navigate with the left grip. You can push the button and you can get all the information you need, diagnostics and all that as well. So you can see you can go through that information. While you do that, it's similar to the FTR in that it puts the information of the speed, your gear and all that in a smaller window up there, but this is quite a bit bigger real estate than what the FTR has to offer. Up here you also have your cruise control. You have your horn down here, your turn signals as well. Convention or turn signal stocks, unlike most Harleys that have the separate buttons. This one is just press to the left to go left, press to the right, go right, press center to cancel, or lean indication cancel as well. So you can go through all that information there. The home screen takes you back to that right there. You can see it has navigation on it. You could pair this with your phone. You can do, all that fun stuff with it. It has all that niceties that most of the newer motorcycles have now. Now on this engine, I have not talked about this engine yet. This engine is incredibly smooth. You can see those mirrors right there and how that it's class picture right there. I have to say, we're not getting her up to speed, but I like it in sport mode. The engine is very responsive. The fueling is very one-to-one. It is a very good feeling engine. Now, when it comes down to this engine, it is actually variable valve timing. It is actually a Harley designed engine. This is not a Porsche designed engine. This is not anything that had any additional help. This is Harley-Davidson's own design. This is Milwaukee doing Milwaukee things. And that's what we need the MoCo to do, is to innovate and actually work and do what they're supposed to do for the motorcycle community and give us the motorcycles that we're asking for. And I'm telling you right now, I really want the Bronx to come out still because this engine feels like it deserves to be in a faster platform and something a little bit more harebrained. Of course, I'm a little bit more harebrained, not the traditional ADV rider. So as we're riding through here, the transmission is nice and smooth. I have hit neutral a couple of times because the travel's a little longer than I expect when I'm trying to lift up to second, but I'm getting used to it. It's still that new bike feel. So I have hit neutral a couple of times on incidents. This bike powers its way up to speed wonderfully. It is very, very linear power. Even in sport mode, you can give her a rip. And you can see she doesn't really just fly off the line either. But it has really good power delivery. I really do like it. Both your brake and your clutches are absolutely adjustable, so you can adjust that to your hand size. The mirrors are wonderfully ergonomic, so they look really, really good. And you can see very, very well out of them. I like the bigger mirror on this one. The seating position is very traditional ADV. So I am sitting more up and down. You can see my knee comes out around the tank, and then it drops slightly back where my foot is more in line with my hip on each side. So my feet more aligned with how my hips are, and my shoulders are right about in line with the hip. It's not a full straight up and down thing. You got that nice little bend there. But it works. Like I said, this engine braking is really, really good. Downshifting is really, really good on this thing as well. That clutch is so buttery light. I like the way the clutch feels on this machine. In fact, it's really well put together. I'm really enjoying it right now. This is one of the first rides of a new Harley-Davidson that I'm actually enjoying right now. Hoping he's going to let us rip a little bit here. You can see this bike really wants to rip. Of course, I have it in third gear. I'm getting about 4,500 to 5,000 RPM. And now I'm feeling a different kind of power band. This bike definitely wants to rev out a little bit more. Now when you get up to, 45, 46 miles an hour in the city, you're under 2,300 RPM in 6th gear and you're not lugging the engine. I would recommend dropping it to 5th, get a little bit above that 25 to 3,000 RPM, and that way it can get into more of a power band. That way you got a little bit more escape speed if you need it. All right, you can see the little indication for cruise control, and I have it on. Cruise control is all set right there. Like I said, it's a little awkward being on the top, so you have to bring your finger coming up. I don't like that. I would rather have, more thumb control so I don't have to release my finger off the grip. You can rock it forward on the throttle to shut off your cruise control as well. Now these brakes are Brembo brakes. They are fantastic working brakes. You can see this thing gets a very good, clean bite. Your friction zone's about halfway through this machine. There's that neutral again on accident. Like I said, it's a little bit long travel on that. So I'll get used to that eventually. My FTR is much shorter, and that's what I rode today. So since the sitting position is fairly reminiscent, I guess I'm trying to short shift my, not really short shift, but lift the shifter like I would the FTR, just barely click it. Now wind protection is really good on this machine. I really like the way that windshield comes up. I don't feel any buffeting. Now remember, I'm 6 foot tall, 32-inch inseam, and I weigh around 209-ish pounds or so. So this bike is handling me very, very well. The chassis is nice and tight and firm and compliant. This bike is very easy to maneuver. Very easy presses on the hand grips, as you can see, just nice little easy presses. And this bike is willing to turn. So it's a very nice, comfortable machine. The seating is very comfortable too. I like the stock seat on it right now. Good feeling little saddle. And to me, having a 32-inch inseam and everything, I can get flat-footed to the ground, so I don't have any problems with that at all. Like I said, downshifting is great. Got the first gear. Very easy to balance. Very easy to manipulate the clutch. Very good at lower speeds as well. I have to say, I mean, maybe it's because my big gloves that I'm wearing right now, I can't seem to get that to cancel very well. I keep turning it to the left after I go to cancel, so that's just a kind of a weird, the button is also a little off-centered, so that could be part of that, and I'm not used to that feel, so I keep accidentally bumping it to go to the left. So my bad there. Now the suspension is very good on this machine. We've got some holes out here that we've been hitting, and we went over railroad tracks and some other things, and this bike is just buttery smooth and wonderful and kind of a nice soft yet firm suspension. It is electronically adjustable, so you can change it out. You have to go through this whole little menu set here to get to it. I would have to figure it out later. Like I said, I don't have enough time with this machine to go through everything, but you can adjust this one on the fly, very similar to your R1250 GSAs. And, you know, this one has very similar power to the R1250 GSA as well. I'll put those specifications down below. Hand grips are nice and toasty. And even with the windy day that we have today, right now the wind is to my right. We got some pretty stiff winds in the 20s into the 30s right now, and this bike is just handling it beautifully. It does not feel like it's being tossed around. It feels like it's very well weighted. Like I said, it feels like it's actually carrying its weight fairly low. Most of the Harleys are, kind of a top-heavy machine, but this one is carrying it nice and low, and the center of gravity feels so good on it. Like I said, it makes it very easy to manipulate. I can see this going down the trail pretty easily because the handlebars and everything are very easy to manipulate, and the bike is very easy to balance. Here we go over this nice little bumper to bumper there, and it just goes right over it. I mean, for an ADV bike, you want it to be able to do that, and this bike is delivering very good on that promise of good suspension. You notice it does have a steering stabilizer as well to keep this thing in check so it doesn't wander on any of the grooves or anything like that. Whenever you're hitting the bumps and everything like that, it keeps the handlebars nice and taut, and I can appreciate that. This is the first Harley-Davidson I've rode in a long time that I actually feel like the motor company listened to the riders and what we want to do. I mean, it's just very compliant and wonderful to ride. I have no qualms with this machine whatsoever. And you can even over that huge, massive bumping right there and just went right over it. And you don't feel any vibrations really from this engine whatsoever down in the pegs, through the seat, really into the bars or anything at all. Like I said, I am very, very shocked at how smooth this engine is. Usually when you're going slower and lugging them around, you get a lot more vibrations, but this one is just so good. Harley-Davidson, you've made a very good engine here. All right, we'll go over this lovely little track here, or railroad track. All right. Right over it, no problem. This thing just really wants to power away, and I love it, man. I love it. There we go, right into the big wind, and you see the bike wants to go a little bit with the wind, but very easy to get back under control, very easy to grab it and get it going. Yes, this may not be the fastest ride of the Pan America, but this has been an eye-opening ride of the Pan America. I really dig these hand grips right now because it is kind of cold today. Doing that all with engine braking alone. Yeah, you can see this chassis really does want to turn. It really is wanting to have a great time, and this is what we needed, Harley. I mean, yes, it's ugly as sin, but Harley, I'm impressed. Finally, I'm impressed with the bike that you've done. I've been a negative Nancy to you guys for so long because everything you put out is the same. You put out the same motorcycle every time and you call it new. You change the paint, you call it new. You do everything else, but this is the first new motorcycle, and this truly can take some people away from BMW if they give it a whirl. I believe it can. I've rode R1250 GSA. My cousin has one. I really like it, but I like this one so much better because it just feels right. I just like the way an American V-twin handles power. And the smoothness of this engine, it actually feels refined. And unlike the Street, when it came out, it feels put together and it feels logical. I do have to say the ergonomics are just the only thing that I'm going to take away. The only thing I'm going to take away from this motorcycle is the ergonomic feel. Mostly in the terms of how it controls and everything like that. Because the one thing about it is that you have to have your control layout a little bit easier to get to. And I know Honda has a lot of buttons too, but still, I think you could get this lined up where it works with your thumbs better than just trying to reach over with your fingers and everything like that. That's about the only thing I'll detract from it, is I wish that this control stalk was set up a little bit better, but that comes with time. I mean, when other motorcycles have come out and they're trying to figure out how to put infotainment systems in there, they always fail at first until they get it right. And I think that Harley has a chance to come back and make this right eventually with this ergonomic feel, because this is just a little bit, you know, kind of weird, because you're used to doing it with thumb and feel. It'd take a little bit for somebody's muscle memory to activate the fingers to reach over and do it. So at any rate, this is the Rabid Hedgehog. This is the first ride, kind of short ride in a group with the Pan America Harley-Davidson, and I have to say, Harley, I'm impressed. If you guys can keep this stuff up, then we might come back to you. This is the first motorcycle that I actually have an interest in from you guys in a long, long time. Now bring the Bronx out, give it this wonderful engine, and that way we can ride and have a good time on a modern, good feeling, potent motorcycle. Because I have to say, guys, this has been an impressive ride today. At any rate, keep that shiny side up, folks, and we'll catch you on the next ride.
What's up, everybody? This is the Rabid Hedgehog, and thanks once again for watching our videos. Please like, share, subscribe today if you like what you've seen. We also want to give a shout out to our dealership partners and motorcycle mechanics. We have Motive Cycle Works Moto Guzzi out of Oklahoma City. They are both mechanic and a Moto Guzzi dealership. They are located at 906 North Ann Arbor Avenue, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73127, or 405-641-1801, or motivecycleworks.com. We thank Don and his crew for helping keep our CX500 running strong and awesome. Also, we want to give a big shout out to Indian of Oklahoma City, located at 7 Northeast 10th Street, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma 73104, or 405-606-3615. We promise you will not find a better family in motorcycles that will help you get on the dream ride that you're looking for. We also want to reach out to any dealership who might be interested in letting us ride and get your videos out there and your motorcycles. Please reach us at the email in our About section. I'd like to also thank our sponsors, Law Tigers Motorcycle Lawyers, locally in Oklahoma, 405-276-4986, and 24/7 states everywhere, 1-888-863-7216. Also, Doug Crawford with AMSOIL USA Synthetics. He can be found at usasynthetics.com or 405-388-6170, providing AMSOIL for our motorcycles and keeping them protected. Also, Enloe & Associates Insurance Agency, locally in Oklahoma at 405-261-1010. Once again, thank you so much for watching, folks. You all have a great one. We'll catch you on the next ride.